The primary reason really was just to try and get everybody under one roof. So for a number of years we've had offices in Bradford, we've had offices across the road in Stafford Street, we've had offices in the Tiger Inn. And there's a benefit of everybody being in one particular space, whether that's meeting in the communal area or just walking past each other's offices. Things like communication is one of those benefits, things like better working relationships, things like figuring out the small things that are niggling people that we can actually work to resolve and make it a better place to work. We walked around the site initially, which was a derelict abandoned school with buddleia growing out of the clock tower, and I couldn't really see it being a head office, but I went with it. So in terms of the finished product, I don't think I could have ever envisaged it being what it is today. I think we've tried to use galvanised steel throughout the project as much as we can to give people a better understanding of where galvanised can be used and how it is used. And it's just a great working environment for everybody. I'm very proud of it.
The main principles were that for the design of the offices were that we try to incorporate a contemporary, modern office design within the shell of the existing locally listed building. We tried to keep the main features of the building intact, as it's an important part of the local townscape, landscape. And it obviously, as things have proved in recent weeks, is an important building in people's lives in Willenhall. But also it was a somewhat tired and underused building that suffered from vandalism, and the idea was to keep the key features such as the clock tower and a lot of the interesting decorative terracotta detailing around the building, but at the same time provide an interior design and a layout and office that reflects the 21st century. Galvanising excellent material, and actually through this project I've learned a lot about the galvanising process and the myriad of products that actually include galvanised elements that perhaps you wouldn't notice. And we've tried to incorporate those subtly into the scheme where we can, both from a structural and durability point of view, but also to add to the aesthetic of the building.
So my involvement in the project was making sure that the actual project as a whole was delivered on time and to specification in accordance with what the company's aspirations were, and acting as the linchpin in between the construction team and the people who are actually involved within the business. It's really important to specify galvanising because of the longevity of the galvanising process and the coating that's on the steel. Externally, there's good corrosion protection, and internally you get the same benefit as the external. Finished product is absolutely fantastic. It really is what people expected for it to be, and what the initial view for the construction team and the design team really what we wanted. So it's excellent.
The key consideration was to keep the building as much as it was originally, replacing bricks we kept from the demolished areas of the building, and the tiles off the roof, we reused those again. So it was just a matter of trying to keep it in character with the building as it was. Challenges on the job were phasing the work, as we had to have scaffolding up to take the building down. This was in our way, so we had to sort of try and work around that and then get to areas once we could take the scaffolding down and remove all the propping that we had for the building. The project was part of the Considerate Constructor scheme, which sort of, they come and assess you on what you're doing for the local environment, what you're doing for, you know, the local people, and how you're doing it. You're not making a nuisance of yourself, and you're considerate to people who are living in the area.
It's beautiful to look around a building that obviously is historically significant for the town, but has been really sensitively refurbished to make it a very modern office, a beautiful place I imagine to work, and a delight that it's been retained for the town as well. I think it's great that it's been sensitively restored. I think it's great that after 150 years in business there is still galvanising going on, and that it produces that source of employment locally. And as you say, it's not just a question of nationally but internationally as well. Something for us to be very proud of here in Willenhall, I think.
It's a real credit to Wedge Group what they've done here to bring this building back into use. It's got a lot of interest in the community, and I think the impact it'll have on the community, even down to just the noise of the clock ringing, is fantastic.
It's fantastic. I've been involved in this project for quite some time politically and have always encouraged the redevelopment and the reuse of this building as a bit of history and heritage in Willenhall. And to link that with a heritage business that's been here for 150 years is absolutely tremendous. And to see this building that was derelict for so long have a new lease of life and be creating jobs and creating employment is just a tremendous thing to see.
The building's absolutely fantastic. The outside's been kept as it should be. It's a town's heritage, and the inside has just been done to actually enhance that. And it's lovely to see some of your own structures throughout the building, some of your galvanising throughout the building. It's wonderful.
Next year will be our 150-year anniversary, 150 years since John Wedge was galvanising summer in Willenhall, and I think this investment is no better way to celebrate that legacy by making sure we're galvanising here for another 150 years.